Hey gang, you know me as an advocate for Philippine tourism, but if you pay attention closely, you'll notice I never recommend anyone try to move or retire in the Philippines. Even though many retire happily in the Philippines, I see a lot of people doing it for the wrong reasons, and if you do that, you're just not going to be happy. I want you to know the difference between taking an awesome vacation and trying to immigrate someplace on a more permanent basis. So how do you know if retiring in the Philippines is right for you? Well, today, let's discuss reasons not to retire in the Philippines. One of the most common reasons I see for people saying they want to retire in the Philippines is they will save money. The cost of living is cheaper, right? Well, yes and no. Everything in life costs money, and there's always going to be unexpected expenses. And if you're not married to a Filipino, you're going to have expenses with keeping legal with immigration and just the hassle of it. Keep in mind too that it depends where you want to live. If you want to live in Manila and live a quality of life that's on par with the way Americans live, it's going to cost you roughly the same as it's going to cost living in most places in the United States. Now I understand if you want to live in a small town or a province, you can get by much cheaper than living in Manila. But keep in mind, if you live in a small town or rural area in the United States, you can also get by very cheap. Also, if you're going to live in a place that you think is cheap, you're probably not going to end up putting away as much money as you should be. And you don't want to run out of money in the Philippines. This is a terrible place to be if you have no money and you're a foreigner. Talking about the exact costs of living in the Philippines is a long subject and it's something for another video. But it all depends on your lifestyle. To live a lifestyle that a Westerner wants to have, it's going to cost you. You hear a lot of stories about, oh, you can rent a room for 2,000, 1,000 pesos a month. If you're an American, it's not going to be a place that you want to live. If not having enough money is an issue in your life, I believe there's no easier place to make it than the United States. You can always find creative ways, and if you just think of it, you'll find ways to make extra money. In the Philippines, making money is going to be a lot more difficult, especially for foreigners. The other main issue I have with people moving to the Philippines is you have to ask yourself, why are you doing it? What is wrong with where you live? People all over the world are trying to move to the United States, and if you really look at it, the USA is a paradise in itself. What is it that you perceive will be better when you live in the Philippines? Is there a problem that you think that you're running away from? Why is the Philippines such a great place to be? Well, despite the massive poverty here, most people are happy. And these people still want to improve their lives, and a lot of them want to immigrate to other countries like the USA where they can make more money, but they're happy right now. They're not making the decision that I'm going to be miserable now, and then when I immigrate and start making more money, then I'll turn on the switch and decide to start being happy. If you're miserable in your country, well, there's a good chance you're not going to be happy moving to another country and a new environment. Why is it that I can spend so much time in the Philippines and be happy? Well, one of the main things is I'm generally very happy in the United States. So it's very easy for me to be happy here as well. You just really need to look inside yourself and see why it is that you want to move and what you perceive will be better when you do. If you're someone that's planned appropriately financially and you've thought it out and you know what you're doing, and by that, I mean you've visited the Philippines at least a few times and spent a significant amount of time in the place where you want to live and you want to do it, go ahead. It's right for you. And here's the bottom line. It's not like going to prison. It doesn't have to be permanent. You can change your mind, and that's okay. I see a lot of people that move here and they're happy, they really enjoy it, but after a while, the exotic factor kind of wears off and they just kind of get the urge to go back to where they came from, and there's nothing wrong with that, and then they just move back after a while. They just want something different. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have a natural instinct to go back to what we know and what we grew up with. I see a lot of Filipinos that immigrate to the United States and they're there for a few decades and they're happy and they're making money, but eventually they come back and retire in the Philippines because they want to be around what they really know, and that's perfectly okay. Here's the thing. I don't believe that trying to move or retire to the Philippines is right for most people. However, taking a trip to the Philippines is something that I think just about every American could benefit from. It's something that will enhance your mind and enrich your life. A good example is my parents. They live in the United States and have a fantastic house, live in a really great city, but they also have a foster child in the Philippines, and they've been wanting to make a trip for a while now to visit the kid, see the Philippines, and I know when my parents visit the Philippines, they're going to have a blast, and it's something that's really going to enhance their thinking and just make things better for them in terms of knowledge and experience. And if you take a trip to the Philippines, you're probably going to want to come back again and again. That's what happened to me. I took my first trip to the Philippines and I just fell in love with it and had to keep coming back. But these were my thoughts. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the comments section and be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe. Hanggang sa susunod.